Nobody talks about this, but we took a premium apparel brand already proven in bricks and mortar and helped them go from $0 to $100,000 per month on Amazon with 1,139% growth in the first 90 days. Not because we did Amazon hacks, but because we installed an operating plan that Amazon couldn't ignore. So today, I'm going to show you exactly what we did under the hood, the cadence, the campaigns, the assets, the layers, what worked, what didn't, so you can just steal that game plan without the guessing. So here's the plan for this video. First, I'm going to walk you through the one-page Amazon growth operating plan. Second, I'll break down the attraction system that pulls the right shoppers with low noise. Third, I'll show you the conversion system that we used for the first 90-day Amazon sprint. Then I'm going to show you the Amazon growth system that allowed scale and forward movement. And finally, we'll debrief the numbers and the lessons because most brands treat Amazon like a series of tasks. Big push, big spend, and then you're back to zero next month. Or they treat it like a paid ads problem. Spend more, tune bids, hope tacos behave. I hate that game because Amazon rewards something different. After all, Amazon's mission is to be the most customer-focused business on earth. So we need to focus on customers, shoppers, actual human beings, and how our product can meet them where they are right now. And when we do that right, conversions improve, rank stabilizes, clicks get cheaper, organic becomes more predictable. And let me say this about ads. Paid ads is not a strategy, it's an amplifier. So whatever you've got going on with your other systems, ads will just amplify and magnify that. So obviously this means that if one of those systems is broken or hobbling along, you're just going to amplify that pain. And by the way, this is not 100 tasks a week operation. It's not a death by 1,000 cuts, no daily heroics required from you or your team. So let's start with the one-page plan. This is the same operating plan that we run for brands that are already winning off of Amazon, places like bricks and mortar retail or DTC or wholesale. The goal is to finally have Amazon match that success without draining your team. It's simple. Attract. The goal here is to pull qualified shoppers onto your product page and no, not random traffic. Then next, convert. Turn sessions into orders through a listing conversion system. And finally, spin the flywheel faster with inventory, reviews, compliance, governance, and reporting. But how do we actually go about all of this? Well, we start with a tight set of KPIs or data points that Amazon actually rewards. First up, click-through rate. This is Amazon's measure of attention. We all know that money follows attention. So if our attraction system is not doing a good job of getting attention, it will show up right here in the click-through rate. The listing click-through rate, the video click-through rate, that's where it's going to show up. All search sales on Amazon start by stopping the scroll and getting attention. Then KPI number 2, which is unit session percentage. This is just Amazon's way for measuring how we're doing at converting attention into sales or converting browsers into buyers. Off Amazon, it's commonly called conversion rate. On Amazon, it's measured as unit session percentage. Is it going up? If so, that's really good news because Amazon is getting to charge us more of those pick and pack fees and those referral fees, and that makes Jeff Bezos smile. But it also leads to more free traffic, which is what the next metric tells us. TACOs, total advertising cost of sales. So instead of measuring just what happens inside the small little world of Amazon ads, which most people measure by ACoS, we need to know when Amazon loves us. And they show us love by sending us free traffic. And bottom line, no free traffic, no love from Amazon. And no love shows up as awful tacos numbers, triple digits, high double digits. And this is crucial because free traffic is what makes the paid traffic actually worth the effort. If you get no free traffic on Amazon, you will think that Amazon ads are the worst possible investment since Enron. So look, this means we don't celebrate sessions. We celebrate sales per visitor. But here's what most teams and brands miss. Your Amazon performance follows your operating systems. If you want predictability, you don't just try harder. You install systems that force progress daily, weekly, or monthly. And it happens whether we feel like it or not. The right set of small, specific changes moves those KPIs. And it looks like this. Your click-through rate is sad. It's depressively stuck at 0.02. Well, let's work on curiosity. And what's going to happen is, by all means, we're going to cram curiosity into your main image, something that looks different than anything else on the search results. By a simple changing of design, this main image for QuickBand doubled the CTR and conversion rate in 24 hours, and it's stuck. So say your click-through rate is good, but sales are dropping off when shoppers hit your product page. That's where conversion systems come in. Now let me break down conversion systems, because this is where most teams go astray. Most people pick one move, make one change, and say, good, that is optimized. I get the simplicity, but if you're growing a real brand, static is outdated. That's why we hyper-focus on unit session percentage. Think of it this way. Low unit session percentage is like throwing a party where everyone shows up, but they're too busy scrolling on their phones to even tap a toe. So you got to get them to engage quickly, because 63% of your Amazon shoppers decide whether to buy or not just by looking at your image stack. But here's the catch. Image stacks that convert aren't about stunning design or artistic flair. Instead, your images need to tell the right story, an emotional, pokey story, one that pokes at pains and stirs up desire and ultimately causes action that turns browsers into buyers. For most brands, this is all about transformation. This is the pain or the embarrassment that those shoppers are currently feeling right now. And once you know what that pain is, and you get this from deep dives and boring as nails research, once you understand that pain, you poke at that pain, you amplify it, you torment that poor shopper in the terror of staying in that pain. Then you kindly point them to the solution for all that pain, which is your awesome product. And this one move that I'm about to show you is the key to getting this right. And it's this. Make sure that your copy is what drives your image design. Strong, emotionally focused copy creates the narrative. Then it's up to you and your designers to bring those stories to life. So instead of made with premium high-density memory foam, maybe your copy says this: no more sorry you slept on the floor moments. Hosts who once felt guilty about making friends or family sleep on sagging, back-breaking air mattresses say our high-density memory foam helps guests wake up rested, refreshed, and genuinely comfortable. Finally, your home will feel warm, welcoming, and guest-ready, even without a guest room. This kind of wording, this kind of storytelling leverages social proof and emotion, tapping into the host's desire to provide a great experience while solving the pain of uncomfortable guest bedding. And then you just pair it with an image of a guest smiling, perhaps stretching after a restful night's sleep. And look, when you optimize Amazon listings with compelling customer-driven copy, the results can be staggering. Those kind of changes took Jason's sleep product from being stuck in obscurity to a 566% increase in weekly sales, and it happened in just 1 month. It was all because the product description and the images finally worked together to speak to what customers actually cared about. Not guesses, not just great looking photos or saying some words about the product. It was focused on the emotions, almost like we hacked their text thread talking about this embarrassment. And look, that didn't involve any extra ad spend. It didn't involve price changes, just better emotions clearly presented. So if your unit session percentage is low, work on transformational storytelling, both in word and images, and your unit session percentage will go up. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, Sean, what about advertising? Before I dive into ads, if this video has been helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It's like a shot of encouragement that keeps me rolling out videos and sharing systems like this, especially ones that help with ads. Because when it comes to ads, this is a place where I see brands overreact and steer their margins off of a cliff. But the good news is that getting those first two systems set up correctly actually solves about 90% of your advertising problems. I mean, you get those two systems right, and you don't even need to be an Amazon PPC genius. And that means you can lower your concerns about cost control and start focusing on scaling, but in predictable and boring ways. Look, first, we don't invent ads in a vacuum. We just amplify messages that already win organically. The hooks and the images that boosted the click-through rate and the unit session percentage, well, we just amplify those with ads. That way there's no guessing. If it works in the wild on Amazon, it also scales with a budget. But let me get a little bit tactical here, because I'm seeing that the biggest win right now is using video and putting those videos behind keywords that already test well with static ads. So if you have some keywords where you get great ROAS right now, you can supercharge those keywords with attention-grabbing video. And that always starts with hooks. Now here's the hook system I'm talking about. It's called the 3 Ps. Starts with pain, and that's what the cost is to the shopper if their current situation stays broken. Speaking of embarrassment or lost friends or hurt puppies, etc. By pain, I mean visceral, gut-wrenching pain. So that's the first P. Then second, proof. Show proof that you're a real brand with real movement. Show product in use by real people. User-generated content works really great for this. And then finally, philosophy. Reframe why the normal approach fails. Now, for most, this often involves throwing stones at your competitors, but you only really have like 8 to 12 seconds to do all of this. So every extra word, every extra step, every wasted moment will leak time, trust, and margin. And that's the key to any of these systems. They have to work, first of all, and then ultimately have to work together. Because when those 3 systems start working together, things get interesting. This is the same 3-part system we've installed for over 100 brands like Lelo Luna. In their case, they already had demand in brick and mortar retail, but moving to Amazon in a crowded fashion category required more than just a product page. So we installed an always-on layered system, a traction that found pockets of shoppers all around Amazon and then pulled them into the storefront and the product pages. Then a highly efficient conversion system that spoke of transformation and poked at pains, and they offered proof and led them to that add to cart button. And then advertising that scaled what was already working. This made the Lelo Luna brand feel like it was in 7.1 surround sound. Sponsored brand, video, sponsored product, all converging, all working together for one outcome. And here's the outcome. $0 to $100,000 in monthly revenue, 1,139% growth in 90 days. But it wasn't done in silos or with Amazon advice and isolated tactics, but rather with Amazon systems. And the goals were simple. First, stabilize the foundation, conversion, compliance, review profile, economics. Next, convert more of the traffic you already have, listing conversion systems, proof layers. Then scale that traffic intelligently. PPC is an amplifier. That's really the point of systems. Less guesswork, more compounding. So if you want a copy of the one-page Amazon plan, there's a link in the description or the pinned comment. But if you're already doing meaningful volume off of Amazon and you want Amazon to become predictable, profitable as a channel in the next 90 days, I'm opening up a few free Amazon readiness sessions this week. We'll just sit down, map your product's path forward, identify what's blocking your growth, and build your 90-day roadmap to growing Amazon sales. There's no pitch, just clarity and strategy. You can grab a free spot by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment. Pick a time that works best for you and let's work through Amazon together. But let me say this. After analyzing 100 CPG brands on Amazon, I realized that companies creating massive growth right now are playing a completely different game than anyone else. Different offers, different traffic strategies, different conversion strategies. And honestly, once you see the patterns, you can't unsee them. So if you want to know what the winners are doing differently right now and how to apply it to your own brand, watch this video next.